Hey everybody, D Amazing here, bringing another review. This time is of the 112 Collective Mezco Commander Rogers. Let's get started. First and foremost, I want to highlight it just by saying it has a nice muscular build, showing Rogers after he took over Shield, considering everything that happened during the Dark Reign, and he just gave up being Cap and was like, you know what, Bucky's gonna be Cap, and I'm gonna do the cool Commander thing, head Shield. So it doesn't entirely nail the suit of the comics, considering it changed briefly after Warren Ellis and Carlos Pacheco did some stuff. But this definitely nails the original design. It has a more military and stylized look where you can see the darker tints of blue, the military look. And this is more like a Under Armour shirt because Steve is always bursting out of his clothing. So they pretty much nailed it here with the shades of blue. I really like them. The white is, I want to say it's etched in, but it's really nice. And even with the folds, it just looks really well, even with the straps here. The belt is the uniform belt that Mezco has used for most caps, so that's fine. It's the same. I'm okay with that. The back, though, is actually quite different because instead of like the other caps where you have the waist garter and supplies, this one gives you Cap's hunting knife. So I thought this was pretty dope that the knife is actually different this time, and you can place it in his hand, and Steve can do some hand-to-hand combat stuff when not armed with his hard light shield. So that's pretty dope. So you can place it either way, it's fine. But the new knife is actually pretty dope. I like it a lot. I like the way it's etched out and bladed. And it looks really cool. So I'm going to put that back at his backside. Now, in terms of articulation, if you're familiar with Mezco already, you already know what you're getting into. Where it has forward ab crunch, it goes backwards. Even with the knife there, please be careful because what will happen is you will knock your knife out of the way. So I'm going to take that out. And you can go backwards. You can actually go left and go right. Your legs can go up. And the issue is I just feel like this leg on mine's doesn't go all the way up on both. And it just could be an issue with mine. It's not everybody. But you can pretty much still go forward. Cap can still do a crouching stance. The number one issue right now with the Mezco stuff that I am having is that even with the ankle pivot, after giving a little therapy, and it can pop off. So please be careful. If you are having trouble, place a hairdryer on it, pop off the joint softly. Please don't try to just yank it off. That's how you break things. The number one issue I'm having is that the lack of ankle pivot for me in posing is it's not doing me any justice because I very much would like to pose my stuff a certain way, but it's not stopping me. So it's still pretty cool because you can still pose Rogers in many other cool ways. As Commander Rogers, I feel like you don't see much outside of his miniseries stuff, but you can still do a pretty good job. The head, you still get left, right, up and down motion, all the way around. He could be a headbanger. One cool thing is that even though the shield is translucent, and not as translucent as you saw in the promo photos, which is fine because you can still sort of see through it, and that's what matters. There is a magnet. If you pull the arm up, you see that they added the magnet because there's no gauntlet, so the shield can still hold in place when not being used by Steve. So it actually holds pretty well. See? Not even being held up by hand, just being held up by the magnet. It holds actually really well. I'm going to pull that down before it stretches out. One of the cool things, again, is that it's still different. It's Commander Rogers. And it's funny because although the head looks better, it's still the same mold. It's just a slightly better, cleaner, less glossy design. But it's still the same Rogers head. So you have nothing to worry about. And I'm okay with them using the same head because consistency. Rotating down here and the ankles is still fine. Ankle pivot is still a little weak, but still you can manage to do much better, good stuff for Cap. I'm very excited for the Commander Rogers stuff. I was a big fan of it during the New Avengers stuff and I want to say the Golden Age, but it's not really true. So with Cap, you get the pointing hand, so you can do Cap-like things. You come with closed fist. I already have the hand for holding his translucent hard light shield. You get open palms. You get the salute arm. Oh, sorry, salute hand. Excuse me. And you get shield holding hands. And I know you're gonna say, "Well, why would I do that? It's hard light." He still throws the shield, even with his hard light. So this is still pretty dope. One of the other things I want to cover is height comparison, and this is always the thing about people that always ask me, like, how does he look next to Marvel Legends? So this is a Marvel Legend Nighthawk, a custom I had made by Fitz Jedi, and it stands in pretty well with these guys. This is a Marvel Legends Agent Venom. It works really, really well with these guys. And then lastly, the SHF War Machine, which, you know, still a little smaller, but it works in scale actually. Let me slide him over so you guys can see. He's a little smaller, but still works in well. You can do photos, things like that. Overall, my overall excitement level to actually getting this translated over really well, and I'm still super excited for it. Want to get some photos in. I haven't had a chance yet. I think the only gripe I have with Commander Rogers is that the ankle pivot. Everything else came out wonderful. I already knew what I was expecting to get from the figure, and I'm happy to have it. You can still run. You can still do tons of other poses. Mezco pretty much nails it when it comes to clothing. I mean, I know a lot of people tend to not like this style, but I'm enjoying it a lot. In the meantime, guys, I hope you found this informative. I hope you're staying out of trouble, and I hope you're being good, drinking plenty of water. In the meantime, guys, keep your hearts full. Stay out of trouble. Later.